That's right. Put them where they belong.
A change from the Franklin County Sheriff after a 10 Investigates report.
10 TV News at 6 starts right now.
Multiple chases end in crashes. And questions about safety from another agency and those who were close by.
This is just absurd.
Tonight, the sheriff's change after our 10 Investigates report.
Their parents' resting place should give them a sense of closure, but these sisters got anything but peace.
And it's very frustrating.
We ask, why is this sacred place in disrepair?
And at 6:15, kids get creative.
How old are you?
I'm 6.
They put crayon to paper.
And show us what the Columbus Destroyer's female mascot should look like. 10 TV News at 6 starts now.
From Central Ohio's news leader, this is 10 TV News at 6.
New at 6 tonight, changes at the Franklin County Sheriff's Office after a 10 Investigates report last week. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Yolanda Harris.
And I'm Jerry Revish. Internal emails obtained by 10 TV detailed worries about crashes, rather chases officers called dangerous and unnecessary. 10 Investigates Glenn McIntyre explains the sheriff's new order.
The concerns come after multiple sheriff's pursuits ended in crashes. The most recent, last Tuesday, one day after our investigation aired. Pedestrian Arthur Smith was critically injured when he was hit by a stolen car being chased by the sheriff's office. Smith's son, Anthony.
I feel like it was somewhat senseless. Like, I don't understand it.
But before that, there was a January pursuit that hit speeds of 108 miles an hour, also for a reported stolen car. This woman says the stolen Toyota nearly hit her head on.
This is just absurd, especially for a stolen car. Absurd.
It ended with two police cruisers colliding. And a deadly pursuit in December for a speeding violation where the fleeing car rolled, killing the driver and one passenger.
Hold on, sweetie, I'm coming.
Officers rescued two babies from the back seat who were physically unhurt. As 10 Investigates uncovered in internal emails and on background conversations, high-ranking Columbus police supervisors said the following about the sheriff's office. A commander said, they don't have a strong enough pursuit policy. They chase everything. A sergeant wrote, we are seeing more and more activity from the county. They seem to play by a complete different set of rules than we do. A third supervisor said, if you're chasing a bunch of cars that don't need chased, they're going to get somebody killed. Talking with 10 TV on February 18th, Franklin County Sheriff Dallas Baldwin agreed that pursuits are among the most dangerous things officers do.
Absolutely. A recent study I read said that 1/3 of all fatalities in a pursuit are innocent victims. That's a really high threshold. And so you have to take that into account. Every time you pursue a car, are they going to have a crash? Because they're not abiding by any rules. They're just running.
But unlike the policy of Columbus Police, his pursuit policy did not require a serious crime to justify a chase.
The difference mainly is that we may start chasing a car for a stolen car or a minor violation. The chase continues only to the point that it's deemed unsafe by a supervisor or deputy pursuing.
In that interview, the sheriff defended his policy, but said all policies are constantly being reviewed for possible improvement. It was a position the sheriff's office stood by last week, even after Arthur Smith was hit. But this weekend, the sheriff made a change. In an email response to our questions, Sheriff Baldwin said, I instructed the patrol chief to closely monitor pursuits involving minor traffic offenses and that I preferred to have them terminated if there were no other offenses involved. This was a verbal order. I gave this order due to concerns I have regarding circumstances not covered in the current policy. Now, we asked to speak with the sheriff today to get clarity on the change and whether it would be officially implemented as policy. We also wanted to know why he made that order verbally rather than in writing to his staff. He has not responded to our request. The family of Arthur Smith, the pedestrian hit last week, says he remains in critical condition tonight.
So, Glenn, what do you make of all this? Is this a change in policy?
That's not clear, and that's an answer we were seeking from the sheriff today. We quoted him directly. In his words, he preferred to have chases terminated if they don't involve more serious crimes. He is the sheriff. He sets the rules. Whether his preference translates into actual policy, we do not know because we cannot get a direct answer to that question. Yolanda?
All right. Well, I'm sure you'll find out in the future.
We'll keep at it.
Thank you, Glenn. Well, you can watch our entire investigation on the Sheriff's Office pursuit policy and see why some at CPD say the problem has gotten worse since the sheriff began filming with the popular crime show Live PD. It's all available right now on our website, 10tv.com.
Well, winter temperatures are lingering well into March now, and as we look at downtown Columbus, the sun is about to set, and that's when even colder conditions will set in.
Ooh, colder. Mike's tracking what you need to know tonight.
It's kind of going to be slippery out there because it's been cold all day. I mean, if you stepped out even once, you know that. The wind chill was terrible. A little bit better tonight, but still pretty brutal. There's a live look again from our nationwide camera over the last few hours. You see that snow sweeping on by, so it affects visibility. It's leaving a little coating out there again, which because of the temperature could make it slippery. So guess what? More miserable cold tonight, just not quite as cold. It's all relative, but frigid. Sub-zero wind chills possible in spots again tonight. Tomorrow, it starts to brighten up. Great, except the sun isn't enough to warm up this very cold air mass. And then as we go into Thursday night and then into Friday and Saturday, well, the moisture starts to move back in. First is snow, then a rain-snow mix Friday morning, and then eventually a little bit of rain. As we look at live Doppler 10 radar right now, south of Columbus, going from Harrisburg to Groveport over to Pickerington and Pataskala as you move over into Fairfield County, and just south of London down toward Mount Sterling as you go down through Madison County, you've got some snow out there. Be very cautious on the roads here tonight. 18 degrees, the wind chill now down to 3. At least it's a 3 above. Take a look at when we're going to be back in the 50s and the catch that comes along with it. All coming up in your forecast.
School districts will be closely watching the thermometer, too, overnight. Check in with the morning team starting at 4:25 a.m. in case of any delays or cancellations.
Well, turning to 10 Investigates now, newly released documents show a federal agency gave Mount Carmel credit for making changes to its policies in wake of the patient overdose scandal. But there is still work to be done. Mount Carmel has still failed to retrain all of its staff on new changes meant to improve safety. 10 Investigates' Bennett Haberly joins us now with an update on that. Bennett?
Yolanda, Mount Carmel says that it plans to retrain all of its staff members by tomorrow. That's March the 6th. Some of those changes include restricting quick access to certain pain medications in an automated medication dispensing system. Health inspectors had discovered during an initial visit to Mount Carmel in January that in 24 of the 27 patient cases inspectors reviewed, Dr. William Husel used an override function on that machine to bypass the pharmacy and gain access to those pain medications. Medications were given to the patients who in most cases were having their ventilators removed. Now, among the new changes Mount Carmel has implemented include requiring pharmacy approval in like situations and restricting those overrides. Now they can only be used in emergency situations like life-saving measures. Now, most of the patients who were given excessive doses occurred while those ventilators were being removed. Mount Carmel has said 29 received potentially fatal doses, but that 5 patients had conditions that might have improved with treatment. The feds, with the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, still want to come back to the hospital and do an unannounced full survey of Mount Carmel. Yolanda?
All right, thank you, Bennett. Well, the fate of a Delaware County cemetery remains in the courts, and those who have family buried there, they want to know what's taking so long.
The owners of Fairview Memorial Park were convicted of defrauding families and put in prison. That cemetery has been in a receivership ever since. 10 TV Shelby Croft spoke with people who plan a protest on Sunday.
It's just like they didn't care. They just shoveled it on there and left it.
These sisters are heartbroken, looking at their parents' graves.
It's disgraceful is what it is.
Connie and Ann's dad was buried in Fairview Memorial 10 years ago, their mom on January 22nd. The site is now an indiscernible pile of dirt. They look around and see much in disrepair. The cemetery is caught in a court battle. After the owners were convicted, a receiver was appointed.
The job of the receiver is ultimately to maximize the value of the assets for the creditors.
The receiver's law partner says the creditors in this case are the defrauded families, taxes owed to the state, and the receiver fees.
Well, family members have complaints about the maintenance of the cemetery. It's actually land adjacent to the cemetery that seems to have held this case up in court.
The receiver found a buyer for that land, but the township got involved and filed a motion in court to be deeded the cemetery and the second plot outright, with no payment and take it over.
Our sale has been pending essentially for a year now.
So the only money for maintenance comes from ongoing burials, about one a month. They say many of the problems were inherited, and the winter has made it tough to maintain.
It's also complicated by the fact that there are some sewer tile problems out there, so drainage is an ongoing problem.
The case was back in court Friday. The judge is now writing his decision. Family members just want it all worked out so their relative's final resting place can be treated respectfully.
Even if it does settle, we'll probably have to come out and sow grass and flatten it out better.
In Delaware County, Shelby Croft, 10 TV News.
Now, we tried several times to reach the Berlin Township trustees, but none of them responded. The family members plan to protest at that cemetery Sunday at 1.
A man appeared ready to jump from a Columbus bridge, but he's safe tonight thanks to police and a phone call.
Thank you. Thank you.
There it is, man. Good job. That's it.
We got you, buddy.
A police chopper pilot noticed the man hovering above the Scioto River on Saturday night. He told patrol officers he was homeless and he was upset. Police called his daughter and she told him she loved him. He eventually came back down and received medical attention.
Patience right there. Worked out, huh?
It did. Glad it worked out the way it did. Well, still ahead tonight, there will soon be a new face of Columbus football.
And it's an historic one.
It's like Spider Girl and jumping and doing a backflip and stuff.
I get it. We'll ask Central Ohio students what they think that Astoria's female mascot should look like.
10 TV's Digital Broadcast Center is sponsored by Lindsay Honda. Closed captioning on 10 TV is sponsored by Custom Air.
At Huntington, we're always thinking of ways to help customers. So when we heard they needed help tracking spending, we invented the spending drone.
Have we made any decisions? Yeah. We'll start with the oysters.
Over budget.
We'll both do the lobster.
Over budget.
With the truffle.
Over budget.
Potatoes.
Then we simplified. Presenting Huntington Heads Up. You set the monthly amounts you want to spend on restaurants, and we'll send you a heads up to keep you on track. Looking out for you by looking out for your money. Huntington. Welcome.
We find it unbelievable that lawyers and chiropractors are contacting you after an accident. Live calls from lawyers are not allowed under the Ohio Rules of Professional Conduct. But some lawyers try to get around this by having other people, such as chiropractors, make the calls for them. These lawyers are looking out for their interests, not yours. Hiring a lawyer is a serious decision. If you've been seriously injured and need help after an accident, call a serious law firm. Call Colombo Law. Colombo Law. Help is on the way.
It is said the eyes are the windows into the soul, which begs the question, can a window have a soul? At Renewal by Anderson, we think so. For a limited time, take advantage of this great offer. Find out why we are the better way to a better window. Renewal by Anderson.
Urgent hearing health announcement. AccuQuest Hearing Centers is searching for 50 people with hearing difficulties or ringing in their ears to assess the new, discreet, state-of-the-art CO9 hearing aid, now available to the public. Dial the number below to see if you qualify. 50 people with hearing difficulties or ringing in their ears will be selected to take part in this 30-day program. The CO9 is the first micro hearing aid that instantaneously adapts to your ever-changing environment. This Bluetooth-connected device is so advanced, it detects and lowers background noise seamlessly, allowing you to stay connected to the conversation. To be selected, you must dial the number below. Qualified callers will receive a free hearing consultation as part of the program. AccuQuest Hearing Centers invites you to assess the CO9 for 30 days. Dial the number below and choose to experience better hearing today.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting someone who pays attention to the little things that make a big difference. And to keep your family warm this winter, it takes Bryant.
Contact Airflow Heating and Cooling at air-flow.com.
The rule of threes states, things that come in threes are inherently more appealing than those that don't. We couldn't agree more. Three SUVs, one GMC. Step up to GMC with 16% below MSRP on most 2019 Acadia and Terrain models when you finance through GM Financial. We are professional grade GMC.
Doppler 10 Weatherbug is sponsored by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
New at 6, celebrating National Women's History Month. Today, the New Albany Chamber of Commerce hosted a C-suite women's leadership panel. Local female leaders spoke at the event to share their stories of women empowerment. 10 TV's very own Angela Ann emceed that event.
Well, step aside Stinger and Brutus, because Columbus is about to have a female mascot. The Columbus Destroyers, the new AFL football team, is trying to find its new face. They're looking for a woman. 10 TV's Bryant Somerville reports this one is unlike anything we've ever seen.
The Columbus Destroyers organization is searching for Captain Destroyer, a team's female humanized mascot. The candidate will physically resemble a warrior and superhero-like qualities, yet will be family-friendly and approachable. What would that even look like? The largest of imaginations in the tiniest of hands. A room full of 6-year-olds at Primrose School of Pickerington creating what they think Captain Destroyer should look like.
It's like Spider-Girl and jumping and doing a backflip and stuff.
Jonathan draws his inspiration from Marvel, while Caroline,
it's Wonder Woman.
She goes with DC. They were asked to draw what comes to mind for the new mascot. A female, a warrior, superhero-like, yet family-friendly.
If a piece of metal hits her, that she can't, hurt.
A great deal of thought goes into these colors.
Black.
Symbolizing power and personality.
Because that's the color hair she has.
Captain Destroyer would be lucky to look like any of these fine drawings. Wearing a cape and holding a flower, why not? Or standing in the sunshine, tending her garden and sporting bright pink lipstick. Jonathan added a mix of features, making her powerful.
Yeah, these are the muscles right here.
Yet, he gave her striking eyelashes.
Yeah.
Here's why.
Do you look pretty? Thank you.
It doesn't matter. Cape or no cape, super strength or super colorful. It's refreshing to see the tiniest of hands put on paper the largest of imaginations. So I don't know, in fact, nobody knows what Captain Destroyer will eventually look like when it's all said and done. But I tell you what, looking at these pictures, I'm excited for where this conversation is going. In Columbus, Bryant Somerville, 10 TV News.
All right, the kids had a lot of good ideas. There is a link to pre-register right now attached to this story on 10tv.com. And I did say they're looking for a woman, but if it has a mask, maybe not. A guy could do it too. It just will be a female mascot. But those are some of the ideas
colorful,
the kids came up with.
Yeah, this is great stuff. I just love their imaginations here. Beautiful things.
Look at that. Yeah, so this is going to be exciting to see what the female mascot for the team looks like, the new Destroyers mascot.
Clever marketing.
Could be one of these ideas.
Clever marketing, like that.
And there's probably a motivation between each one of them, behind each one of those drawings. But it's like figuring out what it is. It's like, that's pretty cool, though. I love creativity.
Yeah,
it's like those naming contests. This is a drawing contest. I like that. Captain Destroyer.
Captain Destroyer.
I like it. Let's take a look outside, see what's going on. I don't like that as well as I like those drawings. I tell you what, the primary color today was gray as the day went on, and now we've got some white thrown in as well. Live Doppler 10 radar. Some light snow still on the south end of town, moving away from us at the moment, but the timing was bad. And even though the snow didn't amount to very much, very, very light, it is pushing through and leaving a little dusting because it was plenty cold today that everything that does fall manages to stick and could be a little slick in spots. So it's 18, feels like 3 with a west wind at 16. Now all day we've had the gusty winds, and the gusts don't even register in terms of the wind chill, just the steady wind. And you can see from the distance there that visibility still not picture perfect. But their snow is fading a little bit here. There's more up to the northeast, but this will be with us off and on for the next couple of hours before it quiets down and we just go back to cold again. So another very cold night, but relatively speaking, it's not as cold if you're looking for a ray of sunshine at night, maybe just into the double digits tomorrow morning. Wind chills are still near 0, but not 5 to 10 below like they were this morning. And tomorrow's high, unfortunately, is about 20 degrees below average, which puts it right about on top of our average low as opposed to our average highs. So still pretty darn cold. Off to the north and west, it's all teens. The teens have now reached Newark and Lancaster and Circleville and Washington Courthouse as well. 20s to the southeast. A lot of 22s at Tic-Tac-Toe from New Lexington to Logan to MacArthur. 22 at Athens as well. And teens off off to the east at Cambridge and Caldwell. So what it feels like out there right now is 2 below at Urbana. A little bit ago, that was the only one below 0. Still appears to be. Right at 0 at Mount Vernon, 1 at Mount Gilead, 2 at Delaware. You know, it's not really a big difference between 0 and 2 below, but it just sounds that much worse. Evening, we fall back through the teens, stay there most of the evening, and tomorrow morning, we're down near 10 and still a wind chill pretty close to 0. Model shows the snow moving off tomorrow morning early, so we've got some clouds, and as the day goes on tomorrow, it brightens up. It looks pretty good. Lots of sunshine, but sunshine cannot cut that cold Arctic air mass for another day. We start to see a more southerly flow of air at the end of the week, and temperatures do finally begin to rise. In fact, Thursday's high just above freezing might actually feel pretty good after these last couple of days. 40 for Friday, maybe a rain-snow mix in the morning and then some showers in the afternoon. Saturday and Sunday, we're in the 50s with a chance for a scattered shower by Saturday afternoon. I think your morning's going to be okay. Sunday kind of rainy. Looks like a lesser chance for thunder, though, a high of 57. And then we're back in the 40s for Monday and Tuesday. That day, especially Tuesday, 47 for a high, 28 for a morning low. That is pretty much spot on for the month of March. Wednesday and Thursday, we're back into a chance for rain, but we're also back into the 50s. And for the first time in a while, we don't see the deep freeze returning on the backside of that. I'm not saying it won't happen ever,
right?
But not in the next 10 days.
Well,
nice.
good.
Yeah.
We'll enjoy it while we can because it's cold. All right, Don's back now. And
you know where it's freezing,
what's going on? Where's it
you know it's free on the ice.
Oh, yeah.
Because it wouldn't be ice if it wasn't frozen.
It has to be frozen.
How about that? Anyways, the Blue Jackets kicking off what might be the biggest week of the season tonight on the road at the New Jersey Devils. Jackets, who have lost 2 in a row, now find themselves out of the playoffs. 2 points behind the 4th-place Pittsburgh Penguins, who currently hold down the final playoff spot. Jackets are at the Devils tonight, and then we'll play back-to-back games with the Penguins Thursday and Saturday. Jackets need to start winning tonight.
It's not a good feeling. We need results right now. So I'm not going to have much for you tonight because I wish I'd stop talking here and just talk about wins. And we got to find a way through it. No one's going to feel sorry for us. No one should. We got to just find a way to get a big win here on the road.
Well, the Ohio State men's basketball team will be without the services of Caleb Wesson in the lineup tomorrow night when the Buckeyes travel to Northwestern. He's on suspension. No word on when he might return. Without Wesson, the Buckeyes are trying to figure things out offensively.
We're just in the process of thinking through all that in terms of personnel and adjustments. It's hard to make, too many significant adjustments at this point, but we're in the process of looking at all that, which makes it difficult, but we need to.
All right, let's head to Dorking, England for the annual wife-carrying race. Dozens of couples braved a wet and slippery course. Race allows non-married couples to compete, and this year's winners, the same winners from last year, and Chris Hepworth and Tanisha Prince. But after the race, Chris proposed to Tanisha, and she said yes. And so, although they have not been married the last 2 years, they will be married next year when they go for the three-peat. National holidays: National Cheese Doodle Day, National Absinthe Day, National Pizzacchi Day, National Sportsmanship Day, International Day of Pancakes, and it is National Unique Name Day.
Okay, got one?
Yeah, Dominic. There's not too many of us running around.
Not too many. There's a few, but not too many.
You got one?
No.
No. We'll be back with a final check of the forecast, though.
Over 62,000 complaints of nursing home neglect were received by the Department of Health.
Negligence by unqualified and overworked staff causes bed sores, falls, bruises, abuse, and even death.
Your loved ones deserve better. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio.
My closet brings me so much happiness. I'm into design, so I definitely want my space to be functional for an everyday person like me. Teddy loves the closet. He uses it as his bedroom now. People are like, oh my God, your closet's so awesome, I just want to live here. And I'm like, well, actually, this guy does. I'm Davis, and this is my California closet story.
There's a problem.
Do you see anything?
It's a cat toy. No. The cat didn't do it. Someone's been pushing a new furnace on you, haven't they? At Care Heating and Cooling, I get paid to fix your furnace. not sell you a new one.
Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
Unlike shoes, it's hard to tell if your car insurance doesn't fit. Good drivers deserve a good fit. MetLife Auto. Get a custom quote today at 844-299-6839 or metlife.com/drivers.
Wendy's North Pacific Cod Sandwich is a catch because crisp, flaky panko gives it a big crunch.
Just a crunch I love even more than the sea.
So don't settle for soggy. When a crunchy premium cod sandwich is just around the corner at Wendy's.
World-class heart care is closer than you think.
Cleveland Clinic is #1 in the country for hearts. They've saved my life.
With Cleveland Clinic, you'll have a team specialized in the world's most complex heart cases with an unparalleled record of successful treatments and access to the most advanced heart technology. It's why we're the nation's #1 heart program 24 years in a row. If you have a heart condition or need a second opinion, call Cleveland Clinic at 833-856-CARE.
Work on foundations and basements can be pretty complex. Moisture, air quality, structural considerations, more living space, even health and safety issues. There's a lot going on beneath your feet. That's why we have professional engineers and other experts whose only job is to make your home as safe, solid, and attractive as it can be. So you don't have to be an expert in all things basement. You just have to call who is. Ohio Basement Authority. We make the hard work of protecting your home's value easier. Call us today.
Have you had a laparoscopic hernia mesh surgery? Ethicon, a division of Johnson & Johnson, has withdrawn a composite laparoscopic hernia mesh. If you suffered complications after hernia surgery or needed revision, call 1-800-ELK-OHIO.
10 TV Skyview is sponsored by Swaco. Find out how easy it is to recycle right at swaco.org.
You're watching 10 TV, Central Ohio's news leader.
Hi, Jerry and Yolanda. Here's a look at some of the stories we're working on. London on alert as police investigate explosives found at airports and a train station. A teenager who defied his mother over vaccines testifies on Capitol Hill. And one man's journey from being homeless to Symphony Hall on tonight's CBS Evening News.
And we're in for another cold night, cold day tomorrow with temperatures near the average low for an afternoon high. We do warm it up by the weekend. We're back in the 50s by Saturday.
Sounds good. Jump ahead this weekend.
Spring forward.
Sunday, spring forward.
Lose an hour.
Lose an hour. All right, thanks for joining us, everybody.
See you at 11.